Ladies and gentlemen, Dune, the Dune review, it's here. Okay, I just saw it last night, the 21st. We saw it at midnight. It is an absolute sin that they released this on HBO Max. Someone out there is literally gonna buy it on HBO Max, watch it on their little Android phone or whatever, and it is not gonna live up to how good and beautiful this was in theaters. From the opening like 5 minutes, you get fully immersed in this movie with the audio and the visuals on the screen. The you see the shot go from black barred in IMAX, of course. You see it from going black barred, and then it just opens up, and you see the whole landscape and ships in the air, and boom, it's crazy. I just can't imagine watching this on a standard theater. I mean, just see it in theaters regardless, even if you don't have IMAX. But I mean, see it in IMAX if you got the option. I don't know if it's in 40x either. That would be kind of insane, but I don't think 40x is IMAX. It's just still standard screen. Also, if you told me this was like the film with the most high budget out of any film ever created ever, I would literally believe you. Actually, let's just really quickly look up. Let's see. Let's see what the budget is. 165 million. Okay, so that's a lot, but that's not even in the list of top 50 films of most high budget. That's crazy, dude. That's actually crazy. Because this film is beautiful. Nothing except one scene, which I'll get into. One shot. You see it in the trailers too, which worried me about the film. But everything looks so good. The CG, you can't even tell. Like, everything literally looks like it's real. I felt like I was in the Dune world. This movie's so good. Oh my gosh. I just feel bad if you can't go to theaters and you can't see it in theaters, because I don't think it would be as good just on a regular TV screen or your phone screen at all. You need the music, you need the full immersion of the screen, the audio surround sound, the vibrations in the room. Literally, when the movie ended, everyone was standing up clapping. They were clapping. You don't really see that too much in a movie. Last time I saw that was like Endgame, and then I guess the Venom Let There Be Carnage end credit scene. Okay, let's talk about the score. Hans Zimmer, dude, he never upsets. He never fails. This score for Dune was amazing. It like described the whole movie throughout. It just filled the room. There's different sound effects. Some sound effects lead into the score. Like this one dude is playing bagpipes at one point, and then it just leads into the score, which is such like it's super loud bagpipes plus a bunch of other noises. I don't even know. I'm not good at describing music at all, as you can tell. And there's so many different versions of like the main theme that you hear at the end of the trailers when it shows the big Dune logo. There's so many different versions of it that play, and it just fills the room, dude. It's beautiful. It gets you immersed into the world. And even though the music was super loud at times and there was a lot going on, lots of sound effects, at certain moments, you can't really hear the characters. Like, of course, there's a spoiler review, so I'll just talk about it. But the scene where he's putting his hand in the box, and then the mom is like, I don't know what she's doing, but she's outside the room just like talking to herself, like blah 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 blah. I think she's praying or something, but you can't hear it at all because Timothy Chalamet is like screaming. He's like in the box, and then you're seeing a bunch of flashes of fire and music is playing, and it's so loud, and you can't hear what she's saying at all. So the only thing I would say is I do like subtitles, but of course movie theaters aren't going to have subtitles, and that would kind of ruin the immersion. But yeah, even when you can't hear the characters, you don't need to. Literally, if this was a silent film, you would be fine because what's shown on screen is like visually just like describes the entire movie to you. And it's not like you're being spoon-fed the movie. I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying like the shots they set up and everything they do just has so much description to it. So much substance in there. I don't even know what I'm talking about, dude. You just have to go see this movie. Like, I knew from the first 5 minutes that this was going to be insane because you're just sitting there and it's just like the shots open up. You're seeing these insane places with a bunch of ships and troops everywhere. And you're getting Zendaya's monologue describing a bit about the politics and the races and the wars and the factions, the different governments and all this crazy stuff. And it's just set up so well. And you're just like sitting there like, oh my gosh. This movie's gonna be crazy. This is 2 hours and 35 minutes. How are they gonna keep this up for 2 hours and 35 minutes? And they do. The entire time. You're just immersed. It's crazy. I don't know how to really describe it. You're like seeing this whole new world for a first time, and it just flows so well. It looks so good. Not a single time do you get thrown out of the movie by a bad CG or a bad joke where nobody laughs or anything like that. Nothing bad happens. I don't know what's bad about this movie. I can't really think of anything except, I mean, I'll get into it, but barely any like nitpicks or anything. This might be one of my most favorite sci-fi movies of all time now. This movie does such a good job at just making you feel immersed in these different cultures and races, and there's different languages being used and different governments and factions and worlds and armies and military. It's so good. It like changes music when you go to these different places. Oh my gosh, the music when you go to some of these places is crazy. The sound effects, the costume design. I'm surprised this isn't the movie with the highest budget ever. I seriously am, because not a single moment do you get thrown out of the movie by anything looking bad. It looks flawless the entire time. I literally don't know how they made this movie. I don't know how they made it. It is that good. Visually and audibly, it is a 10 out of 10, a masterpiece. And it just builds such an interesting world. Like, you do not... I saw some people saying you have to read the book to watch this movie. I went in knowing nothing. I saw the single, like, first teaser trailer, and that's about it. And I went in knowing nothing, and I came out knowing so much about this world. And being so interested. I was literally dreaming about it last night, dude. I just woke up. I just realized I had a Dune dream. Probably because I saw it at like 1 a.m. But it's crazy. Crazy movie. Anyways, I do want to say it is a part 1. So you will be left on a major cliffhanger. But the story is just beginning. And I saw some people saying it's not confirmed yet. If they're doing a part 2. The movie opens with it saying part 1. Also, Josh Brolin did an interview and he said they're starting filming the second part, right? I'm pretty sure he has an interview saying that. They film in like the summer or something. I don't know. I don't really know. But it starts out with part 1 and it's gonna have a second part. But yeah, there's not really like a third act to this movie. It's like act 1 and then you get act 2 and then it leaves on a cliffhanger waiting for act 3. So if you don't like cliffhangers, I guess don't watch it, but like it's just so good. The world that you get immersed in is just so fun. It's just so fun to be there. It's literally Game of Thrones mixed with Star Wars. I went in, I don't even think, did I react to the trailers on the channel? I don't know. I don't remember. But I went in knowing nothing about Dune, right? Nothing. All I knew is people described it as Star Wars and Game of Thrones together. And literally, that's exactly what it was. So if you like Star Wars or Game of Thrones or deserts or worms or good acting and good cinematography, or really anything, if you like anything, just go watch this movie. You have to go see this movie before it goes out of theaters. The performances in this movie, dude, there are so many big actors in this. I didn't even know some of them were going to be in this. Mr. Polka Dot Man from the Suicide Squad, I didn't even know he was going to be in it. He's in it. There's literally like 15 huge actors in this movie, and actresses. Maybe more than that, I don't know. But again, you don't get thrown out at all by bad performances in any way, because they got the best. They got the best of the best in this movie. The best actors. And by the way, this is my first time ever seeing Timothée Chalamet in anything. I hope that's how you say his name. I know a lot of people are like big fans of him, and I don't know what else he's in. Maybe I should look it up. But I've never seen him in anything. But he's a good actor. He's really good. And I know he's going to be playing, I think, Willy Wonka in the new Charlie and Chocolate Factory or whatever. Dude, okay, this movie is 2 hours and 36 minutes, right? I think Timothée Chalamet's character, Paul, he is in this movie for about, it has to be like 2 hours and 15 minutes of it. Like, I feel like he is the main focus of the movie throughout the entire time. A lot of the time in movies, sure, you have the main character, but sometimes it goes off and shows other things a lot of the time. In this, I feel like he had so much screen time. Like, this is his movie, dude. And you don't get bored of his character either, because he's discovering a bunch of stuff about himself. You're discovering a bunch of stuff about factions around him and his purpose on the world. You don't get bored of his character, even though he is kind of like a not so fun, boring person. He whispers most of the movie, right? And he's like getting visions from the spice and all this stuff. And I didn't even know they were gonna have like force type powers in this movie, like in Star Wars. They got like Jedi mind tricks. The mom can feel death whenever someone dies. She's like she's force sensitive or whatever. I see how this movie inspired Star Wars, the original Dune, or the book inspired Star Wars or whatever. There's a lot of Star Wars in here. This is like the better Star Wars than the whole sequel trilogy. But yeah, this movie has a lot of Marvel actors, a lot of Star Wars actors. It feels very Star Wars-y. Even at one point, Isaac Oscar's character, he says he wanted to be a pilot at one point, and then me and my brother just look at each other, because he's Poe from Star Wars, of course. But Yeah, there's a lot of Star Wars elements in this, and I just really, really liked it. So if you like Star Wars, go see this movie. But yeah, I tend to make these reviews super long. Also, I have no like script or anything, so I just kind of go off on random parts or whatever my mind is thinking about the movie right now. So I'm not going in any order describing the movie or anything. But anyways, I don't want to make this too long, so I'm just going to go straight into the cons of the movie, which there's really not much at all. There's like small nitpicks that don't even take it down any percentage at all. You've seen the trailer, right? There is one part that has bad CGI. The only part, one, it's like a frame, a couple frames, right? It's literally like a screenshot, okay? You'll see it at the end of the trailer, but like when Timothée Chalamet takes off his mask at one point, which happens, I'm not going to spoil when it happens actually, but he does that at one point. Again, you'll see it in the trailer. His face looks a little weird, like CG or whatever, just because he's in like a full costume. I don't think he's actually in there. I think they just put his face in there. Kind of like what they do in Avengers and stuff when Iron Man's helmet is off, or Bruce Banner's coming out of the Hulk Buster, right? You see like their floating head a little bit. That happens for like a frame of this movie. And that's a little weird, but I knew it was going to happen because it's in the trailer. And actually, me watching that trailer is what made me worried about this movie. But it exceeded all expectations, because that is the only part. And some people don't even notice it. Like, a lot of people seriously don't even notice that stuff. I noticed CGI way too much, so that part is a little weird, but it's like a frame. It doesn't matter. Another thing that I just found like kind of weird about the world, it's not a gripe or anything, because this is just how the world is. Is there something not explained in this movie about how these factions and these hierarchies and militaries and stuff, is there like some law to the war that they're having, where they can't use kinetic warfare or they can't use lasers in battle or something? Because everyone in this movie is using blades, right? That's what makes it kind of Game of Thronesy or whatever. They all just charge each other with blades, but then their ships and stuff have rockets and these crazy things. But nobody has a gun in the movie. Nobody has a laser gun or anything. At one point, they show this huge laser tool that slices doors open and just shoots a boom. Just a huge laser just slices an entire door open, right? Why don't they use that against the troops? That would literally slice people in half. It's like a lightsaber. I don't know why everyone attacks each other with metal knives in this movie, but maybe there's something unexplained there. I don't know. That was a little weird. Like, why don't they just use guns? They can protect themselves here if they just had better weapons. They have like insane technology in this. I don't understand why they don't have guns. But again, that's part of the world. It's not like something that they messed up in the movie or the script or anything. Unless they didn't just like explain that you can't use guns in warfare or something. I don't know. I feel like they would have some kind of like laser weapons. Which they did, because they cut open a door with a laser tool. It shoots like a 30-meter long laser that just slices through everything. So I don't know why they didn't use that in battle, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Overall, this movie is practically a masterpiece, a 10 out of 10. And I'm sure when the director's cut comes out, if they like combine both the movies together into one big 4-hour or 5-hour long movie, and that comes to theaters, that would be insane. Absolutely insane. I can't wait for the second part to come out, because it does leave off on a pretty big cliffhanger there. But I knew it was coming because it is a long movie. I felt it, but I just wanted it to keep going. I wanted more. I was afraid. I was like, where are they going to leave this off on? And then you can kind of see it coming. You see that it's about to end when the music starts kicking in and then building up and showing these big shots. You know it's going to end there. And then it's actually a pretty good place to end it. But it is like a cliffhanger. You just want to finish the story. But I'm not going to watch the old film or anything or read the book, because I don't want to get spoiled on what's going to happen in part 2. But yeah, anyways, final verdict, final rating here, plugging it into the stinker meter. We are giving this a 5% stink. That means it got a 95%. The only other thing I've given a 95% is Mandalorian Season 2, which even that, compared to this, I would push that. I'd push Mandalorian Season 2 back. I'd give Mandalorian Season 2 like a 90. This was near perfect. I even feel like giving it a 98. What the heck, might as well do it, right? Is like, there's like almost nothing bad about this movie. I just don't want to give it 100 because the only thing in my life that got 100% is Lost. But, you know, basically 100%. So, anyways, there's almost nothing bad about this movie. You don't need to watch any trailers to go in. You don't need to know anything about the world of Dune to go in. You'll be blown away. As long as you see it in IMAX. I don't know if you'll get the same You won't get the same experience if you watch it at home. You won't get the same experience if you watch it in a standard definition theater. Go see it in IMAX, please. And that's the way it's meant to be seen. IMAX should seriously just be standard at this point. But whatever. Anyways, let me know what you thought about the movie. Did you enjoy it? Was it a 10 out of 10? Was it a 1 out of 10? How much did you hate it? Did you watch it at home? Did you watch it in theaters? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Subscribe, leave a like,